The logbook ended tonight. My night. It stopped mid-sentence, the ink still wet. I found it tucked behind old charts. This story I need to write down before I convince myself it didn't happen. What I read inside explained everything, and nothing at all. My first few weeks here at the Lighthouse were just quiet routine. The endless sweep of the light, the rhythmic moan of the ancient foghorn, a deep, guttural sound. It settled into my bones. Every morning, I'd clean the Fresnel lens, polishing the salt and the dark. But after finding that logbook, the quiet shifted. I started noticing the previous keeper's handwriting in the margins, small, almost hidden drawings. Always that same smudged eye. It was unsettling, like being watched. One night, I found my heavy wrench, the one I used on the lamp mechanism, sitting on the lantern room floor. I always left it on its hook. I told myself I was just tired. Maybe I'd knocked it down without thinking. Then, a few nights later, the light flickered. Not a power issue, just a momentary dip, an unnatural hesitation in its steady sweep. I checked the bulb, the wiring. Everything was fine. It was probably just the wind, I reasoned, or an old circuit finally giving up the ghost. Nothing to worry about. I didn't know it then. The worst was still ahead. The small things kept happening. A door creaking open that I distinctly remembered locking. It wasn't like St. Varick's, those doors that sometimes open themselves. This felt heavier, more personal. The foghorn seemed to groan at odd intervals, not quite its usual rhythm. And the logbook, I kept going back to it, tracing the previous keeper's words, seeing that smudged I more and more. It felt like it was following my finger. It was just a few nights ago. I was rereading the logbook, trying to find some answer, some explanation for all the little things. I flipped past the last entry, the one that cut off mid-sentence on tonight's date. But there was more. A new page with fresh ink. It was still the previous keeper's handwriting, but the entry detailed my own actions from yesterday. The meticulous cleaning of the lens, the foghorn's irregular groan. It even mentioned a faint flicker in the lamp. My blood ran cold. It shouldn't be there. It couldn't be. I tried to tell myself I was sleepwalking or stressed. The isolation, it was getting to me, finally. I sealed the logbook away in a metal box, locked it, and threw the key into the sea. I doubled down on my routine. Cleaned the lens with a furious energy, wiping away every speck of salt, every smudge. I spoke aloud to myself, describing every action, every thought, trying to ground myself in reality. I tried to convince myself that it was all just a trick of the mind, a symptom of the solitude. I had to. I tried to tell myself it was just a trick of the mind, a symptom of the isolation. I was wrong. This morning, after a restless night, I found it. Not the logbook, but a small, smudged drawing of that stylized eye. It was etched onto the condensation of my bedroom window, facing inward. The glass was too high for me to reach without a stool, and I knew for a fact I hadn't drawn it. Then, the foghorn. A single, mournful blast, not its usual sequence, right in the middle of a clear, calm afternoon. It felt like a direct response, a chilling presence, undeniable. Now it's deep night again. The light sweeps. The sea crashes. I'm back in the lantern room, writing this. I found the logbook again, sitting open on the desk, right where I found it the first time. The metal box was gone. The key, too. And in the margin, next to the very last line of the previous keeper's entry, was that smudged eye. But this time, it wasn't just a drawing. It was the exact view, the distorted perspective from the center of the Fresnel lens, looking out. I understand now. The previous keeper never left. He just became, and I'll be back tomorrow night. I always am. If this one kept you up, a like, a subscribe, and I'll bring you another tomorrow night.